ועריך כמו אישה וזירך וכי תבולה חגורת שק על נעוריך עלי גלות משרתר מאמירי שיר זמריה ועל דמם אשר שופך כמו מימי אורך. Found on page 674 in the middle of your Sidurim in that page. It is a traditional piyut poem that is found in the keynote. Rabbi Reinhardt will introduce the keynote to you and why we use the keynote this weekend after Havdalah. It's a beautiful poem and eulogy. If you can see the English that's on the side below the transliteration and the Hebrew. Eli Tzion ve'areha כמו אישה בציריה וכי בתולה חגורת שק על נעוריה עלי גלות משרתר מאמירי שיר זמרך ועל דמם אשר שופך כמו מימי יעורך.
Powerful piyut and melody, and it, as you said, is fitting for today, which we'll get to in just a moment. But it's so wonderful to be here together again for Shabbat. So Shabbat Shalom and welcome. It's wonderful to see everyone here in person. And if you're joining us virtually, we're glad that you can join us and pray and celebrate Shabbat with us as well. And of course, we begin our celebration of Shabbat with our candle blessings, which, if you're following along in the book, are on page 120. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. I might get getting better at that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And if all of you can please stand, and those of you who are watching online, if you wish to either stand or elevate yourselves in any way that you wish at home. If you have at home any libation or representation of the sweetness of Shabbat, you may hold it at this time. I'm doing so, and we are doing so on behalf of our congregation. And on page 123, we sing together the Kiddushat Hayom, the sanctification of this day. We call the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava v'ratzon hinechilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techiro מקרואי קודש, זכר לציון מצרים. כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. And we say together, Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim, L'chaim. Stand, David. David. My middle name's David, but that's okay. Please be seated.
Is it really? Your middle name is
Yes,
David?
my middle name is
Wow,
David.
we can add to the number of Davids that we have. You can't have too many Davids. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is, thank you, I should remember to pause there. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you. It is wonderful to have you all here. And I know some of you may already be looking forward to what's coming after services tonight, because we are back to having our Oneg Shabbat, a little celebration with a bit of dessert following our services on the first Friday of each month. So, whether you're here in person or joining us virtually, I hope that you will treat yourself a little bit this Shabbat, and especially this Shabbat, because beginning tomorrow night, at least for the most traditionally observant of us, or of Jews in the world, much of the Jewish world will be fasting. Yeah, exactly, Tisha B'Av. It's not Yom Kippur yet. We still have a little bit of time. Yep, so enjoy the Oneg tonight. But tomorrow night does begin the holiday of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. While many Jewish holidays fall into the category of they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat, a lot of them, think about it. Tisha B'Av's observance is more, they tried to kill us, we survived, let's not eat. Let's mourn our tragedies. It commemorates, perhaps commiserates, the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. Actually, two temples in Jerusalem. The first temple in 586 and the second temple in 70 CE. Both of which, whether historical or not, more likely not, are said to have been destroyed on that day, the 9th of Av. And over the centuries, the Jewish people have added several major communal tragedies and disasters to this holiday. The end of the Bar Kokhba revolt, Jewish massacres during the Crusades, the expulsion of the Jews from England, the Spanish Inquisition, and pogroms in the 1600s, ascribing each of these events, again, whether historical or not, to the 9th of Av. And today, many also use this traditional day of Jewish lament to recognize and memorialize the immense tragedy of the Holocaust. Even so, Tisha B'Av originally and still primarily focuses on the twofold destruction of Jerusalem and the loss of Jewish sovereignty in Israel, as well as the desire to see the temple rebuilt and the Jewish people to return to the land. So, and as such, traditional observance marks it as a major fast day, kind of like Yom Kippur, meaning that there's not only no food, but one must abstain from all forms of pleasure. No washing, no perfumes, no lotion, no makeup, no leather, among a few other things. Just time to go to the synagogue, sit in the sanctuary on a low stool with the lights dimmed, listening to the Book of Lamentations and other dirges being chanted from a special prayer book called a keynote. This is what Cantor referenced earlier. These keynote are laments. We read Lamentations and we read these elegies, which remember the hardships of the past. But more than Yom Kippur, even the break fast at the end of Tisha B'Av is meant to be a solemn occasion, with neither meat nor wine being served. In this way, Tisha B'Av becomes a day of inconsolable mourning. But here we are 2,000 years past the destruction of the Second Temple, 2,500 past the first. And for the last 74 years, the Jewish people have returned to the land. Israel exists. And furthermore, in terms of the temple, most of the Jewish world, certainly the Reform movement, has absolutely no interest in seeing the temple be rebuilt. And, the return to those ritual sacrifices in the Torah that if you read them, they are not so nice. So if this is the case, what relevance does Tisha B'Av hold for us today? Is it meaningful? Does it still resonate with us? In other words, why, or perhaps better, how might we celebrate it today? Now, to be honest with you, when I started this drash, I had planned on making the argument that Tisha B'Av really isn't meaningful for today, at least not in its traditional observance. We don't want the temple. We don't want it rebuilt. Israel is about to be 75, and we, the Jewish people, are here. So, let's eat. Let's stop mourning. This is the idea that we should stop mourning for the distant past and instead focus on celebrating today. But as I wrote, and as I thought about how we might make this reform, since that's who we are, I actually convinced myself otherwise. I realized that there is value in the collective mourning of Tisha B'Av, but it lies not in some transgenerational grief, nor nostalgic attachment to the past. Rather, the value is pedagogical. Like most of our rituals, one primary function is to educate ourselves and our children, reaffirming our collective identity and our values. So if we take that somewhat flippant description of Jewish holidays, they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat, and we extract the truth from it, the actual message is that we, the Jewish people, faced immense tragedy in our past. Tragedy which shaped our history and continues to impact our identity. Yet we, the Jewish people, survived, and we have an obligation to our ancestors and to ourselves to live meaningful and Jewish lives. But we can't just jump to that second part. In order to live meaningful Jewish lives, we must also recognize, understand, and even to an extent experience those tragedies of the past. Think about Passover. In every generation, we are meant to experience the Seder as if we ourselves went out of Egypt, and more importantly, to teach our children the same. Likewise, the pedagogic experience of Tisha B'Av is meant to help us process and internalize our difficult history. We, the Jewish people, saw our temples destroyed. We, the Jewish people, were crushed and expelled from the Holy Land. We, the Jewish people, were massacred in the Crusades. We, the Jewish people, were removed from England, We, the Jewish people, were tortured and forcibly converted in the Spanish Inquisition. We, the Jewish people, were subjected to numerous pogroms. We, the Jewish people, 6 million of us, were murdered in the Holocaust. These are our tragedies. We remember them and we mourn them. In mourning them, in listening to Echa and the Kinot, we experience a remnant of the pain of those generations, and we begin to make it our own. We may not always understand the words, but the melody, especially of our scripture, of Echa, can transport us back in time.
Echa yosheva vadad, ha'ir rabatiya mayeta, ke'almana rabati v'goyim, sarati bamdinot hayta lamas, ki Immaos me'astanu, kasafta aleinu ad me'od. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem.
As we can feel in this melody, even as we mourn, even as we experience the pain, we remember that the final ongoing task of mourning is not to dwell in the grief, but to find an enduring connection to what we lost while embarking on a new life. To find an enduring connection to what we lost while embarking on perhaps a renewed life. Echa concludes, Chadesh Yameinu Kikedem, renew our days as of old. Not as a nostalgic desire to return to the past, but as a prophetic hope that our future will be ever more vibrant than what came before. Chadesh Yameinu Kikedem. This is a joyous opportunity. So this year, this Tisha B'Av, on Sunday, if you choose to fast, if you choose to mourn and internalize the various tragedies of our people, let us do so in a way that renews our Jewish identities, allowing these memories, our history, to motivate and inspire us. May Tisha B'Av move us to live every day more fully for ourselves and for future generations. And of course, throughout the rest of the year, but particularly on Shabbat like today, may we also celebrate joyously. After all, they tried to kill us, we survived, so let's eat. And we will, but first, of course, we're going to celebrate Shabbat. We're going to welcome Shabbat, this day of rest, with our Shabbat service. And there's no better way to welcome Shabbat and begin together than the Chadodi on page 138.
Lecha dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lecha dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Adodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Shamor v'zachor בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך אדוני, ברכת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. אדוני, ברכת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך אדוני, ברכת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני, ברכת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Please stand, face the back of the ark, the congregation, as we welcome Shabbat Malka, the Shabbat Queen. Boi v'shalom, ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emuneh am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Face the ark and lecha Adoni, bichat kala, b'nei Shabbat, lecha bela, lecha Adoni, bichat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We remain standing as we turn to page 146 for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai al mevorach. Baruch Adonai al mevorach, al mevorach le'olam va'ed. Al mevorach le'olam va'ed.
On page 150, we read together in the English. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, and they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen to our God. When the wind and thunder finally disappears, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malekuto Le'olam. Listen to our God. Listen to our God. Please be seated.
As that song, Listen, holds a place for our Ve'ahavta, about our connection with God, today we read together on page 155 in the English. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Page 158. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neta ba'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neta ba'kodesh. tegilo, ose bele, nora tegilo, ose bele, Adonai imlok leolam vaed. Nehara uvanecha pokei gam lifnei Moshe. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimlok le'olam vaed. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh.
And as we have just sung our song for freedom, we now turn to page 160 in our prayer for protection. We ask that God watch over us as we rise up and as we lie down and as we go our way. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu, Shalom. Hamidenu, Shomreinu, L'chaim, L'chaim. Let there be love, guard us with peace, strength and compassion for all in need. Shield us from hate, illness and war. Watch over us as we go forth. Hashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Hamidenu, Shomreinu, L'chaim, L'chaim. Fill us with hope, grace, and truth. May we all return to you. Keep us safe, safe tonight. May we rise in a new life. Hashivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom. Hamidenu, Shomreinu, L'chaim, 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 L'chaim.
I really need to learn the English words to that one because I know that the musician who wrote this is going to be coming here in just not too long, just a few weeks. But thank you. Yep, it's Alan Goodis, by the way. He'll be here middle of next month, right? Yeah. So yeah, wonderful. He can autograph them. I'm excited because I actually, again, I grew up at Gucci, so I know Alan from way back when. So it'll be wonderful to see him again. But I love it. It's beautiful. I'll keep it, okay. Wonderful. And we turn now to page, are we going to do the...
Oh, why not?
Why not? Okay, great. I wasn't sure we were in a groove. Okay, it is Shabbat after all, so we might as well keep celebrating Shabbat. On page 162, we sing the Shamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael לעשות את השבת לדורותם. Nice. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise.
Thank you.
For the Amidah.
Begin on page 163 with a meditation, and we continue with Lavot V'Mahot and the Giver wrote.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, Umoshia, Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah, page 168. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol ata rav lehoshia, mohorid hatal, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech nofrim v'rofeh chorim, umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מרוך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated.
As we are seated, we turn to page 173 and we read together at the top. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. On page 177, at the top, again, let's read together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. On page 179, we read this prayer, and we read it together, not only as a prayer for peace, but a prayer for our country and our society here in the United States. We join together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. And as the Jewish homeland, the state of Israel, is entering into a moment of tension, a moment of danger, we think of the land of Israel, the state of Israel, our Jewish homeland. We send our thoughts and prayers to all those impacted by the events of today. I offered this prayer by Anat Hoffman. In this sacred moment, give us hope for Israel and her future. Renew our wonder at the miracle of the Jewish state. In the name of the pioneers who made the deserts bloom, give us the tools to cultivate a diversity of Jewish expression in Israel. In the name of our fallen soldiers, give us courage to stand up to the words and ways of zealots, those in our own midst and those among our neighbors. In the name of Israeli inventors who have amazed the world with their innovations, help us to apply the same ingenuity to finding a path to peace. In the name of all these individuals, grant us the strength to conquer doubt and despair in Israel, replacing doubt with action, replacing despair with hope. And together, let us say, Amen. It's also in this moment, in the period, in this part of the service where we are in what's called the tefillah, the prayer, that we think of those in our world in need of healing and health. This section of the service, the prayer, is meant to encompass all kinds of different prayers. And so this prayer of healing might be of body, mind, spirit, or soul. Whatever you or the person you're thinking of is in need. And so if you are thinking of a loved one who could use a prayer of strength, a prayer of healing and wholeness, I invite you to stand in this moment so that we might recognize those individuals and share their names out loud. As one community, I invite you to share their names in this moment. And we turn to page 371 as we join together in our prayer for peace.
Of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We truly wish all those in need of healing a refuah shlema, a return to wholeness and health. And it's here at the end of this section of HaTefillah, the prayer, that we pause for the most open of prayers, the prayers of your own heart and your own mind and your own soul. And so I invite you to take a moment of silent meditation.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו עושה שלום ממרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. My name is Stacy Rolfe, and I am a member of the United Hebrew Board of Trustees. Tomorrow at United Hebrew, Torah study begins at 9 a.m. in the library and also via Zoom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat morning service begins at 10:30 a.m. in the sanctuary and also via live stream. Shabbat sound meditation with Moretta Shaw at 10:30 in the youth lounge. For more information on any of our upcoming classes and programs, please visit the United Hebrew website. We have a lot of information on there. And I know those are short messages for tonight, and I also don't have anything else to add. I know I usually have something to say. Everybody expects kind of this walking billboard when I'm up here, but I promised myself tonight I am not going to always make it about shopping. I know I like to shop, but not everybody does, so I'm not even going to tell you to go into the gift shop. I'm not going to mention that it's open almost every single day, and if not, Iris will come in. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say we have holidays coming up. She has beautiful platters in there, Nora Fleming, little tchotchkes that go on all these dishes and platters. I'm not telling you, okay? I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that there are gorgeous menorahs in there. There's colorful stained glass. There's beautiful metals. There's fun little kids ones with donuts and fire trucks. I'm not telling you, okay? I'm not going to keep doing this. So I'm not going to tell you about that. And I also decided I'm not going to tell you about the honey that we have for sale because we have 6-ounce jars that are $6 a piece. Forget I even said it, okay? So I don't have anything else to really give you. I'm not going to say anything. The gift shop, you can find Iris on your own. Shabbat Shalom.
And you're not going to say anything about it. Like it's our honey from our bees that's for sale. Not going to say anything about that either. And of course, I mentioned earlier that tonight we are back to our Shabbat oneg. So after the services, we hope that you will join us for a little bit of dessert. This Shabbat oneg is sponsored by Sandy and Susan Becker, and in honor of August's birthdays, and Alan and Iris DeWaskin in honor of Iris's birthday. And so thank you for this wonderful oneg we're about to have, and of course thank you to all of the bakers out there who helped contribute this week. And in mentioning those birthdays, it is the first Shabbat of August, which means we have our birthday blessing. We have a few of them.
We do. Wow. Okay.
Who's first on your list?
Well, mine starts with the letter B.
Okay.
Is that me?
Yeah?
Well, okay.
You're before me?
Okay. Well, we know Susan Becker was born on August 20th. So please stand, Susan. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday. Jim Sussman has a birthday, August 20th. Happy birthday, Jim.
And Sandy Becker. Is that what brought you guys together? You had a mutual birthday party and you met? You just had to...
No.
No?
Yeah, no.
Well, okay, August 19th. That's pretty close.
Wow. Yeah. And Barry Krell and also Sherilyn Krell have birthdays in August, the 12th and the 14th.
You see this eerie similarity
Shared
going on here?
birthdays,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure. That's interesting. Iris DeWaskin on August 15th. It's your birthday. Coming up.
And so our birthday blessing, Yehi darkechem mivorach. May your way be blessed.
Ya'er alechem or ha'chochma. May wisdom's light shine upon all of you.
Yitain lachem masechem shalom. May your journeys bring you all peace. And together as a congregation, we all say, Amen. Happy birthday, everyone.
And we all stand as a congregation because our birthday people are standing as well. So let's stand with them and join on page 586
Aleinu.
with the Aleinu. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We turn to page 596 as we prepare to say our mourner's Kaddish. When cherished ties are broken, the chain of love is shattered. Only trust and strength and faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction, he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves wished to live. We remember them now, They live in our hearts, and they are an abiding blessing. United Hebrew sends our deepest condolences to those who have died just recently, as we remember Joan Quicksilver and Arthur Lister Scharf. We are still in the period of mourning the first 30 days for Francis Silverman, Sherman Sklar, and Stephen Frederick Talkman. And we add to these names those who have died at this time in seasons past, as we remember the yahrzeit of Donald Abrams, Abraham Arbetter, Fanny Barnholtz, Pearl Ina Block, Minnie Breimer, Saul Claris, Gladys Cohen, Rachel Simmons Crown, Sam Davis, Joseph Essler, Ruth Mae Feldman, Sam Finkelstein, Herman Fitter, Louis Friedman, Abraham Abe Gersten, Helen Giddon, Bill Glicker, Irv Glicker, Al Goldman, Jacob Goldman, Molly P. Goldstein, Jack M. Goldstein, Ada Goodman, Richard Hilton, Frank Hilton, Labetta Libby Katz, Eva Korngold, Belle Kunstler, Leah Levy, David Lippman, Maurice M. Liner, Phil Magidson, Thelma Mann, Louisa Mayer, Milton Myers, Herman Millstone, Edith Fisher Norton, Dr. Paul M. Packman, Ida Pepper, Minnie Rabushka, Yetta B. Ritzlin, Sarah L. Rosen, Jeanette Rotenberg, Joe Samuelson, Molly Sandberg, Jacob N. Sapin, Abraham Schnurr, Milton Schramm, Sarah Siegel, Eva Schauer, Rachel Stein, Selma Stockman, Bernard J. Stockman, Fred Suffian, Chuni Sugihara, Erwin I. Tenenbaum, May Walpert, Benjamin Wienick, David Weil, Elaine Wilansky, Mark Richard Wool, Sonia Gross-Wolf, and Audrey L. Wolkowitz. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise at this time so that we may recognize the memory of your loved one. And together we rise as one community so that we might recite our prayer of mourning, the Mourner's Kaddish, together. Page 598. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Chirte v'yamlich Malchute, B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayeh d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalah v'izman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach le'olam u'lomei Almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal Shemei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who mourn, to which we say, Amen. And so here as we come together and we conclude our Shabbat service, we once again celebrate. We'll be singing Od Yavo Shalom. And again, I hope that for those of you in person, you join us for our Shabbat Oneg. And if you are joining us from afar, from virtually wherever you are, be sure to get yourself a little treat. It's Shabbat. It's a day of rest and a day of celebration. So let's sing.
Yavo Shalom Aleinu, O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. O Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Aleinu. Oh Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Shabbat Shalom.
You got me there. But Shabbat Shalom, everyone.